stop sign has been put up by 17 New Jersey federal judges to Alina Habba's continued role as U.S. Attorney, acting interim U.S. Attorney for the District of New Jersey, because they just voted not to extend her tenure after 120 days, a tumultuous, rocky roller coaster, lurching from abuse to abuse, 120 days. And I guess Alina Habba just found out that it's going to take more than 120 days to turn a blue state like New Jersey red, because she said that's what her main goal was. Not abiding by the Department of Justice manual, not prosecuting without fear or favor, not appropriately using her credentials for the good of New Jersey residents. No, to be Donald Trump's political hack. And now his favorite office wife just got vetoed by 17 of those federal judges who had it in their power either to extend her another period of time or end it and put everybody out of the misery of Alina Habba. I'm going to cover it right here on Legal AF. Michael Popok. Take a minute. We do 12 new videos a day. We need your help. No paywall. Just hit the subscribe button and hit reminders. All right, let's talk about Alina Habba. How'd she get here? Obscenely unqualified. She's over her skis. She's wrapped around her axle. Fill in the blank. She never held a federal clerkship. She never worked for a federal judge. She was never a federal prosecutor. She was never a prosecutor of any type. I don't even think she was a magistrate. I don't think she was a magistrate in traffic ticket court before. She didn't even have a federal litigation practice. At least I've had a federal litigation practice for 35 years. No, she's Donald Trump's office wife. She had a low-grade legal career off the 19th hole of Bedminster in New Jersey and bumped into Donald Trump on purpose in order to feather her own nest. And he rewarded her for being the loyalist that she is, the bootlicker that she is, by giving her the U.S. attorney position on an interim basis. But it runs out after 120 days if Donald Trump can't get her confirmed. Now, not one of the U.S. attorneys that Donald Trump wants to get confirmed has gotten confirmed in 6 months. Did you hear me? Not one of his U.S. attorneys has been confirmed in 6 months. While Congress wraps itself around its own axle about the Epstein cover-up and decides to go out on holiday and stop doing the work that's necessary for the American people. They're not putting America first. They're putting their political hides first. They don't want to have the vote on the House floor about Epstein. And that's all a distractor. Well, federal judges in New Jersey said, well, wait a minute. We've seen this movie before that we've walked out on. Donald Trump, given enough time, would just try to slot somebody else in, like he did Jeanine Pirro in D.C. when Ed Martin could not get the job in D.C. of U.S. attorney, restarting the 120-day clock somehow, even though that's not what the statute says you can do. New Jersey said, we're not doing that. We're going to vote. We're going to vote her out. We're going to put in Desiree Grace. Who's Desiree Grace? It's good that you've never heard of her. First, let's start with her partisan credentials. She's a Republican. She's a career prosecutor. She's got all the credentials that Alina Habba doesn't have. Federal law clerk for the New Jersey Supreme Court, federal prosecutor, career prosecutor, the number one deputy and assistant to Alina Habba right now. And did I mention she was a Republican? So the 17 judges, yes, they're all Democratic appointed because New Jersey is generally Democrat. Governors and presidents and all of that. We're a blue state. So she has the credentials. Why she wants this job, which could be temporary, I'll put a little asterisk here. It's a high character moment for her. She's a patriot, obviously. I give her a lot of credit. I don't know how long she's going to last in that job, but she answered the call and has a calling for this. And I don't care if it's a day, a week, a month, whatever it is, until Donald Trump figures out a way to reward Alina Habba, my hat goes off to Desiree Grace. Now, what could Donald Trump do now that the New Jersey judges have shot down Alina Habba? Well, one thing he started to do is bash the judges. So he has Todd Blanche, who was like the right-hand person for Alina Habba in a lot of the criminal trials, now the number 2 in the Department of Justice, start issuing his social media posts. It's an activist judge bench in New Jersey, and they're undermining the rule of law. They're undermining the rule of law? I think the Trump administration, Donald Trump, Todd Blanche, and the rest of his gang have done that already. Just because they're not letting her finish her term. It's Friday at midnight. No, it's not Friday at midnight. It's Tuesday at midnight. I don't know what clock you operate under, but that's when her 120 days is up. So the problem with that is that the judges, activist and liberal and lefty and democratic as they may be, appointed a Republican to answer that question, to solve for that equation. So let's take that off the table as a talking point. But what could Donald Trump do? Well, we already saw it in the last 2 weeks. John Sacroni was in the Northern District of New York in a U.S. Attorney's office there, a Trumper. And the judges there voted not to extend his 120 days. So Trump had the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, use a provision of the Constitution that's reserved for really special counsel and special prosecutors that they argued in Florida does not allow Merrick Garland to have appointed Jack Smith. They used it to create a new special attorney under the Constitution and appoint Sacroni to it and make the special attorney's powers that of being the Northern District of New York U.S. Attorney. Did you hear me? The thing that they argued in court successfully to Judge Cannon in the Mar-a-Lago case, that Merrick Garland could not appoint without Senate confirmation a special counsel. They just used it to put Sacroni effectively into the job as the de facto U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of New York. If people don't think this is what he's going to do with Alina Habba, they're not listening or paying attention. He's going to try this. And then some public interest group, hopefully one that we're affiliated with, is going to bring the lawsuit to challenge this under the statute and under the Constitution as an illegal appointment. See, Alina Habba can't get the Senate confirmation, so she's going to have to come in through some back door. She can't get it because New Jersey's a blue state with 2 blue senators. All right? Speaking of blue, Senator Kim and Senator Cory Booker. And in order for her to get out of committee, even if she got to committee in the Senate Judiciary Committee, these senators, one or both, have to give a blue slip that they sign off on it. And they're not going to give the blue slip for Alina Habba. Speaking of blue. Ever. Just as the New York senators, Gillibrand and Schumer, didn't give the blue slip to allow Jay Clayton, who used to be Donald Trump's head of the SEC in the first administration, be the U.S. Attorney in New York. Same thing. So now when Donald Trump hits a brick wall, what does he do? He tries to use a bulldozer to bulldoze through it. I don't think he's going to try to undermine or overturn the blue slip protocol of the Senate, because even the senators don't want that to go away, because one day Trump won't be president, a Democrat will be president, and maybe a Democrat will have the House and the Senate, and they don't want to lose their right to block judges. So forget that. Even for Alina Habba, they're not going to do that. So then you've got this issue that Donald Trump has is, what do I do? So you try the Sacroni move, have Bondi appoint her as a special attorney with all the powers of being the U.S. Attorney in New Jersey and let other people challenge it. That's what we're going to have to do. And we will. I'm glad you're here. We're going to follow this story closely. I'm Michael Popok. You're on Legal AF. Take a moment, hit the free subscribe button. We got no paywall, but we do need more than ever your assistance to keep our programming on the air. We do a dozen videos a day. I curate them all. Sometimes I do a lot of them, but you're here and I appreciate you. We vibrate on the same frequency. Let's do this together. Till my next report, I'm Michael Popok. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.